Toyota GD6. That car still have taken those keys to an unknown place. Police officers are still trying to investigate where these keys are. One of them, because there were 10, one of them fallen in the car while it was moving. And the 9 kids are not known. Their whereabouts are still not known. But we understand very well that in times of elections in the country, so much blood is being split while people are campaigning for these positions of being MPs. We know that even when we look for the previous years, so many young people, so many people are being killed for these aspiring members of parliament and everyone, even the government, to ensure that they occupy these positions of being MPs in that parliament. That is what also we have to report on our side, that these 9 kids are still missing. Their whereabouts are still not known. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade. Apologies for that. Maybe it was technology issues. You remind me, you'd say that 9 kids might have been either hijacked and sacrificed for political gains. Okay, that's very sad indeed. But you remind me of Kenya. Kenya, we are having over 350 bodies have been exhumed in a forest, and majority I believe either to have been sacrificed, others are believed to have been lied to in the name of religion, but it's in a cult, and majority of them are being exhumed without their body organs. So it might appear to be more of like an offering, something like that, or either organ harvesting or organ transplant. So thank you for that update. I'll give Brother Coco to ask his question, but also give us update from his side. Brother Coco.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade. I had a question for Comrade Mafa. He said his king sounded like someone who was drunk. My question was he sounding like that in his speech, or was it because of what he was saying? And then number 2, I know that there was a journalist who was speaking Scotland some time ago. Last year. I wonder what has happened that case. And 3, when are the elections? Many thanks.
Comrade Mafafa?
Yes, Brother Pichim, yes, I want to explain. You see, when the king, in the constitution says, King Mswati III have 2 phases. When he addresses the nation through parliament, he is the king. When he addresses the nation at Sibayen in the royal palace, he is known as Ingwenyama. The king and the Ingwenyama is different. And when he was addressing there, he was addressing Mabuto, and those was called on that royal palace, and he assumed the position of Ingwenyama. And when you hear, you cannot see that he was drunk, but when you hear, because when you enter royal palace, there was a culture, the drinking of traditional beers, it happened. But in his speech, you can hear that this man is drunk because of all these things that he's saying. No man can sound and speak what he was saying. You see, you can see here from me that this man is drunk because of his face is in Kwenyama at that particular time. But you cannot see him physically that this man is drunk. But you can see through his words that this man, it seems like he have taken some traditional beer and come to address the nation. And also on I didn't get very well on the journalist question that there was a journalist that was killed. But what I know is that we have 2 journalists who are currently in exile, progressive journalists, and also have journalists that have been in few months back have been shot by police with rubber bullets and have been victims of brutality of the state. I didn't get when he said there was a journalist who was killed, or maybe my brother, can he clarify on that? On the last question that he asked, when are the elections? The process of the elections started leadership last month. It's beginning about the registering process, which is now is at its final stage. When all sources have registered, when a majority have registered for those elections, that is where the king constitutionally must dissolve parliament, so that in the 22nd of July, the current month, there will be nominations for candidates. The nominations happens on the traditional chiefdoms, imiphakathi in Siswati. We must know that chiefs in Swaziland are appointed by King Mswati III. Then the nominations for those that are going to be members of parliament, they are done in these chiefdoms, where these chiefs appointed by Mswati rule in the constituencies. Maybe then, my leader, can you clarify on the second question? Thank you.
Thank you for that update. Brother Coco, do you have any other need for clarification, or your questions are answered?
Yeah, no, there was a prominent journalist who was intermediating between the royal family in Swaziland and the civil society. That could have been last year, who was murdered in unknown circumstances. I don't know. I just wanted to find out what had happened to this case. But if Comrade Mafafa said no, that's okay as well.
It's okay. Thank you. Comrade Mafafa, maybe you might need to do some research to get to know that issue, but try to follow up on that question on that journalist.
Yes,
okay, thank you very much. Of course,
I will do some research. I will do some research on that. Yeah, but we know that some comrades were in research. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Our former president was being accused of being drunk, or sometimes he was being accused of using marijuana when he was going out to address the people. And many times he appeared in public drunk. Actually, you could see he's drunk. So being a king or president being drunk is common in Africa, but it's not the quality of leadership, as according to Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey advised that the leaders should not be drunk. And if you have to be drunk, you need to hide not to be drunk in the public, because it actually do not bring good picture on your public perceptions. So thank you very much for that. Comrade Gibril from Gambia, if I'm not wrong, you can, Gibril Barry, you can confirm your country and then give us a update from your country.
Greetings, comrades. A warm good evening.
Greetings.
Well, Gambia, the only complaint is the high cost of living. You know, high cost of living is a problem. Electricity.
Comrade, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, comrade. Okay. I think we'll allow you to be back again. Once you are ready, you'll just raise up your hand and let us know. I'll move to Comrade Renumi. I want to be done with the updates from Africa, and then I'll give updates from other countries. Comrade Renumi. From Nigeria.
That's all. Yeah, thank you. Greetings to everybody.
Greetings, comrade.
Yeah, the update here is over the weekend there was a recurrent killing again in Plateau. There have a lot of killing. The official report says 9 people, 5 houses were burned. But some people say the number is 15 people were killed and 78 houses were burned. So, but this shows that we're still seriously in the challenge security-wise. Then the rep, we are also debating the issue of whether we're going to introduce tuition into our education, into the higher institution. The reps are urging the government not to introduce fee or not to increase the fee while the government are considering hiking the fee. Then still, as a follow-up to the subsidy removal on fuel, the people resident in the border communities are asking the government to lift the ban on sales of petroleum products close to the border. We recall that around 2019, there was a Nigerian Custom Services issue a ban on sales of petroleum from 20 kilometers from the border points, so that the products will not be easily taken across the border to be sold. But now that the subsidy has been removed, the people in those border areas are calling on the lifts on the sales of border on sale of petroleum within 20 kilometers of the borders to be lifted. Yeah, another thing that is generating controversy around the country is the issue of traditional African religious worshippers. While a state in the north central part of this country with an emir in Ilorin with the title of for their traditional rulers are issuing restriction on people that want to celebrate traditional religion, that going to celebrate a festival in the name of traditional religion. And this is raising tension as the people are asking, we are supposed to have a secular society where everybody is free to practice their religion. But according to Emir, is claiming that the emirate only recognize Islamic religion and Christianity. And this is generating controversy. Our Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, has issued a stand criticism on the Emirates for this intrusion into people's freedom. So in the same vein, some states in the southwest of Nigeria, Ogun State in particular, have just the Assembly of Ogun State has just passed a bill recognizing August 20th of every year as Cultural Day to encourage people who are traditional religious worshippers to also celebrate their own festivals. Since we have Christmas, various Eid al-Fitr, another Muslim religious festival. So they all come with a work-free day or holiday. So August 20 is also being looked at for some states. Right now, Osun State, Ogun State, and Lagos State is also considering declaring August 20 every year as work-free day. Yeah, the election of our president as the chairman of the ECOWAS community is also generating debates. While some people are seeing it as a good development, some are not too happy with it. That the government doesn't seem to be strong enough to provide good leadership for the West African sub-region, especially in the light of a poor outing of our president in the Global Finance Conference just concluded in France. So yeah, then the opposition, one of the leading opposition party, Labour Party, with the presidential candidate of Peter Obi, are also saying that they are sure that the Electoral Petition Tribunal might likely disqualify the current president and call for a rerun of the presidential election. And they're already telling their members to prepare for a rerun. Hopefully, if the Electoral Petition disqualify the current president and declare the election and cancel the whole election held on 25th of February of this year. So we are also all waiting with bated eyes to see which direction the petition tribunal will go. So for now, I think these are the updates. Thank you so much. Hello, did you hear me? I've run it up.
Yes, comrade, I heard you. Sorry for that. Indeed, that update on the traditional religion being banned in some state and being encouraged in other states is bringing serious issues. I believe that as Africa, we must embrace and encourage our traditional religious or our spirituality so that we can promote it. It's something that we needed to emulate or even discuss it later as a key topic on traditional issues. Because I believe as Christianity, even in options, you are asked whether you're a Christian, Muslim, you need also to be asked whether you're a traditionalist. So that it's option, Christian, Muslim, or traditionalist. I think Nkrumah was trying to define how both religion can work together for the benefit of Africa. So it's something that we will maybe need to discuss it later of interest to people who will be interested to share the idea in regards to this. I'll go to Comrade Victor Otieno from Kenya before I move to Comrade Spala from South Africa. Victor Otieno from Kenya. Any update from Kenya? I know we've been having demonstrations here.
Okay, thank you so much, King. I always call my fellow King, King for that. So in Kenya, it's basically we've been for this week has been mostly demonstrations, all that because people are like against the government, but also it is normal. Yeah, let me say to some extent, demonstration now, and then also I think that is the big news that has been really happening this week in Kenya, and I think I'll just stop there for now. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Of course, as you said, Kenya was having a protest, anti-government protest, and there are so many people might have been dead. It has not been confirmed yet. Police are saying they shot 6 people. Other reports are saying over 12 people. But we are somehow doubting that there might be so many people were killed. Of course, the opposition leaders were arrested today. Some of the 2 opposition members were arrested today in the morning, were also released. The opposition main leaders said that there's nothing that will stop them from protest. They don't fear death, and that their river Nile must reach to the ocean. So it's preparing for another protest next week. There was vandalism, destructions of property. The main highway that was constructed with around 27 billion shillings was destroyed at a tune of almost 700 million Kenya shillings. And the people are complaining amongst high cost of living and other political issues. But the key issue is high cost of living and heavy taxation that this government is trying to impose to the people. The government side is still warning the opposition. The president is saying there's no protest that will take place. And so it is a back and forth. The religious people have not come in to try to mediate, but it may be very hard. Things might get worse, it might escalate. The people are saying that they are waiting for the government to arrest the opposition leaders so that they can now actually bring everything down to the government. So the key issue is that the people are feeling the pain of economy, people are suffering, and the government is appearing to be more insensitive, no matter how good plans they have, but no, they are not taking into consideration that the life is becoming hard. So as a leader, I was proposing that the government could offer temporary relief as they work on a full-time solution or permanent solution, but they might appear to be so insensitive. So we don't know what will happen, but we must be prepared for more and worse demonstrations moving forward. I'll move to Comrade Mafafa. Do you have any question, Comrade Mafafa? Before you go to Comrade Spala?
Yes, Comrade Prichim. I have a question. How is the functioning of the police service in Kenya regarding the death and the attacks of the protesters, and also who back up that the President Ruto? Who back up President Ruto? You see, because President Ruto, when he was in France, I think recently, was speaking something which more people were speaking. President Ruto, Kenya have a president, but his actions, if you get deep, you can see that this man have a serious problem. Who becomes President Ruto? Thanks.
Because like who elected him? Hello,
I
comrade.
mean,
Do you ask?
when I say who backups, who support him, I'm not saying who elected him. Who support him in
Okay.
in this state? Is he supported by the West? Who support him to do what he's doing?
Okay, as you can see in my screen, this is the newspaper of today. And those are different pictures of demonstration all over the country, as you can see from different counties in Kenya. And what happened is that, of course, the police have their national service called the National Police Service, and they are led by Inspector General, who is in charge of police. It's supposed to be an independent body, but unfortunately, it's not independent. It's being instructed by the government. Of course, you have also what you call the Police Oversight Authority, that actually, if there's any case or any issue, the police, you can report the police to that authority, and the authority will take clear action to the police. The military and the army are not much involved, but I think they were involved. The special unit was involved to shoot some citizens, innocent citizens, in a demonstration. The government claimed that the demonstration are violent, but the citizens are also claimed that they're either using violence as a self-defense. As you can see, the young men here who are holding stones, they are police officers, they are holding some young people. There's a child and the mother and the child here holding some cooking items to show that the life and the cost of living is becoming hard. So generally, that's what is happening from that side, and people are protesting. But the government is also so convinced. You can see those are some of the demos. The report is saying 8 people died. It's not 8 people. People burned the road and everything else. Now, President Ruto was elected by the poor people. He lied to the poor people. That's you're saying your king is lying. The president lied to the poor people that he will form a government of the poor people. And some of his quotes have been shared on how he was telling the people that he will lower the cost of living, the taxation, and many other things. So he has changed. So the ordinary poor people are the people now protesting against him, of course, led by the opposition. But the ordinary poor people whom he lied to are the people who are now actually protesting and protesting heavily. Ruto might not be, we don't know who supports him from the west or the east, but it is claimed that his election was rigged by the east, that the EU and the CIA interfered the election and rigged the election in his favor. But as you have seen in out there, speaking against the AU, EU, and the rest of the communities. So we may not be sure where his allegiance is lying now, but that's the situation and the condition in Kenya. Unless there's any other question, we can move to South Africa. Comrade Spala?
Yes, General.
You can proceed.
Yes, my Lord. Blessed. Greetings to the family in this night time. We still praise our ancestors who give us this time. Yes, my brother. So basically what's happening here in South Africa is pretty much what I've mentioned in the previous virtual meeting we had. Here in South Africa, we have load shedding, which is still in process. They said up until 2025. And then the burning issue that we have now is the issue of truck drivers. Now there is protest going on here in South Africa when people are burning trucks. So obviously it has to do with the low income of the South Africans and xenophobia at its own. And then the last case is the one we all know of, Putin, Russia, coming to South Africa in this coming August, which is maybe in the time, maybe. So we're still in that crisis in South Africa because now the EFF party, Honorable Julius Malema, is facing a lot of charges now. Obviously, it is CIA backed, just because Julius Malema had mentioned in that meeting he had with that reporter from the West, where he claimed that he himself, if he was the president of South Africa, he would have even sponsored Russia some weapons. So I believe that statement of Julius Malema has put him sort of in a predicament position now. So these are the main issues that are happening in South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade. Now I think I'll have to move outside Africa. We are having 7 minutes to wind up the session so that you can move to our reading. But I haven't got any update from outside Africa, which I would like to take the updates. Brother Mafafa and Brother Coco, your questions might come later. Let me first of all get updates from UK, then I'll come to your question maybe as we start our reading. So please allow me to do that. Sister Shireen, do you have any update from your side? Are you home?
Yes, Papa Pigben, I am home. There hasn't really been much updates on the news. The Windrush stuff has kind of died down, but I did read an article about, I think because of Brexit, and you know, a lot of people have left the UK, that there was an article, and I didn't read it in detail, but it was about trying to target West African nurses to come over. So the question is, should the UK seek West Africa? Because I think there's an understanding that that's taking out the talent and the care out of communities to come to the UK to look after the sick. But I haven't really been glued to the TV this week. The news has been quite wishy-washy, but I know Sister Ida, she always gives a good delivery of news over this way. But that's it really. It's just the same old
Okay.
stuff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Brother Michael?
No comment
Greetings,
to
Brother
make.
Michael.
Greetings to everybody. I have no comments to make. Thank you.
Okay, Brother Mafafa, what was your question then?
Yes, Brother Bijim.
Sorry,
I was
before-
asking.
Sorry, Brother Mafafa, hold on. Before Brother Mafafa comes, can I give an update from the UK? If that's okay.
I wanted to
sir.
end up with you so that you start the next session. I wanted to end with you as you pick us to the next session, but it's okay, you can come.
Yeah, it's
Brother
okay,
Kwame?
carry on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brother Mafafa.
Yes, my question is to Comrade Spada from South Africa to say this banning of trucks and everything that is happening. A lot of Swazis have lost their lives and they've been attacked by South African drivers. And we understand that so many Swazis who have fled the country and leave the country to South Africa. Some of them who are now truck drivers are in exile. They are trying to make means to live. That's why they are wanted by the state. But I'm saying that how is the government trying to address that issue, because so many Swazis have been buried, so many Swazis have been dead. It's not only Swazis, but many Africans that are in South Africa, some of them who are not nationalities of South Africa that have been attacked. That's it's a great worry on our side. Thank you.
Comrade Spala?
Yes, my general. Okay, must I answer my brother there?
Yes.
Okay,
If
no,
you
give
can.
thanks, my brother. Give thanks, my brother. No, my king, man. I'll just be brief. No, what's happening, ne? As we know, man, as we know straightforward, ne, that the South African government is like a private company of America, you see. So all other 53 countries here in Africa, ne? Basically South Africa, we can say in just a loose term that it is the bully of Africa in terms of politics, social, economic aspects. Because today, the government said they'll be having meetings with the victims of the truck drivers, the stakeholders, which is the truck owners, which are predominantly Indian people, you see. And so people are coming out and saying that no, because the people of South Africa, they require higher wages because they have trade unions here in South Africa. While our people who are coming from Africa into South Africa, tend to have lower wages, you see, but and don't have trade unions because they live outside of South Africa, of which becomes a benefit for companies here in South Africa who needs human labor, who would rather hire people from outside of South Africa with lower wages than to hire a South African who has all these benefits, which is put with the pay that the employee is supposed to receive. So my brother, so in simple terms, it is still being discussed by the government of South Africa. So obviously, maybe in the coming meetings we'll have, I'll give you further information, or you can give us further information in the coming meetings.
Thank you, comrade. Brother Mafafa, maybe you might have to wait for our comrade to get some updates in regards to that, but it might also be a follow-up question. Brother Gibril, you left with your network issue when you are reporting on Gambia. Do you have anything still to report? Okay. Welcome, comrade Kamhuluka to your lane. Can you tell us where you are? Maybe your microphone is not on. Okay. But welcome wherever you are. I know you can hear us. Welcome, comrade Kamulu. We'll give you a chance to speak later. So, having got the update, yes, Kamulu to Yaleni, can you tell us who you are? I think you are new in this class for the first time, but feel most welcome and update us from where you are.
Thank you very much, my brother. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. I'm coming from Namibia here. It's my first time in the class, but glad to be here. Thank you very much, my brother.
What's going on in Namibia that you might want us to know? Maybe politically or anything else in Namibia? Welcome again, comrade.
Well, to be honest with you, my brother, there's so much that's happening here right now. Things are upside down, but yeah, it's a long story that need proper time. Otherwise,
can you give
yeah,
us,
we
can you give us anyone
on.
update? Anyone update? Anyone? Just pick one. Can you pick
the big
anyone
one right
that
now is right now what is happening is they're having this legalization of homosexuality. We have corruption cases that keep coming up every day. So we have so much, man. There's so much.
I can see you're so exhausted. Okay, thank you. Welcome again to our class and feel most welcome every day. We meet every Thursday for this class and every Saturday for another class. So feel most welcome and we're happy to having you around.
I'm glad to be here, my brother. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you. Now back to you, Comrade Christian Kwame. I think it's now time for you to give us update and take us to the next session.
Yeah, thank you, comrade. Let me just update my name so comrade can see that I have an African middle name.
Yeah, it's good to do so. Thank you.
Yeah, I used to use Kwame Agbotsa in the past, and then someone from Ghana stole the identity from me. He's now he's now a member of parliament, and I used to belong to a party that used to govern Ghana. And because I live in the UK, I did a lot of work. And so this comrade who also lives in the UK, he decided to steal my identity. His Kwame is spelled with an E at the end, like Osagyefo Dr. Kwame. But you notice my Kwame is has an I at the end. But that's because of where I come from in Ghana. So I'm an Ewe. So we Ewes, the sound E is spelled I. Unlike the Akans, where it's Kwame. So they use an E version. Anyway, he is from Adaklu in Ghana. So anyway, he stole my identity. And so there was a lot of confusion in the media. When I posted articles and he posted articles, people were confused because the names were the same. So I decided to change my name back to Christian Kwame. I could differentiate politically who I was and who he was. Some of my comrades are very upset that he's reaping where he did not sow. But because I am a conscientist and I had moved from the idea that I should serve in a neoliberal or neo-colonial regime, I decided that I will do nothing about it. Sorry, can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just muting Sister Marin, but
yeah,
Sister Marin,
fine.
welcome. I'll give you time later after Christian.
Yeah, so basically that is, I'm just giving a brief overview of why my full name is now Christian Kwame, so that I differentiate between myself and this guy who stole my identity. He's a friend of mine, so there's no problem between us. He's a friend. We come from the same part of Ghana. We are both Evers, so it's not a problem for me. But I just thought I should make that clear. Anyway, the update from Ghana before we start the class, and you said you might want to listen to Sister Marlin as well, is that today the government of the UK in Westminster has agreed to our demands. So those of you who don't know me, my profession, I am a teacher by profession. I teach mathematics in the secondary school. And so we have been in dispute with the government of the UK, which is the government in Westminster, over our pay and conditions, over teacher retention, and also over teacher recruitment. Year after year, teacher recruitment and retention falls short. In other words, there aren't enough teachers coming to the profession. And those who come, about 25% leave in the first year. So the situation is really bad. So if you are a full-time teacher, you find yourself covering and covering and covering. By covering, we mean that apart from, so I don't know if you know, but if you're a secondary school teacher, you are supposed to be a subject specialist. So that means, for instance, that if you go to university and you do science or physics or chemistry, biology in university, in the secondary school, you train to be a science teacher. If you did a mathematics degree, you train to be a mathematics teacher. If you read a geography degree, you train to be a geography teacher, history, and so on. So in secondary, you're supposed to be a subject specialist, but in primary, a teacher teaches all the subjects. Unfortunately, because of the retention and recruitment problem, enough subject specialists are not being recruited. As a result, there are students who are not taught by one subject specialist when they are in school for a whole term. And they keep getting cover after cover after cover after cover. I don't know if you know, but when children, because children see teachers as a parent figure, you can imagine a parent who today has this father, tomorrow a different father, the next day a different father, and the next day a different mother, and then the child becomes confused. So it's a problem. Anyway, so one of the things we are trying to solve is to get the government to, let me make this brief because of time. So basically, let me cut this out. Let me cut this out. Right, okay, so to make it brief, the government has now accepted after our demonstration. We've been on strike, right? We've done about 6 days of strike so far, and we reballoted to start the strike again in September. There's a trade union, a teaching trade union that has never struck in its whole career, as far as we know. They've never gone on strike. For the first time, they voted to go on strike with us. Not only that, all the teacher unions, there are 4 teacher unions in the UK. There is the 2 leadership unions and then the 2 teacher unions. And of the 4 of them came together and signed an agreement to coordinate their action. So I think the government panicked. And only yesterday, the other union announced its results, and the results show that they are for strike action. And then suddenly this morning, around 12:40, late morning, the government announced that they have accepted our demand to increase our salary, but it is not where we think it should be. So as I speak to you now, there's a big divide in the union movement, although it's not yet in the open, because I am a district president. I'm a president of my district. So that's why I know this. So there's a big divide, and there is one group that is saying that we must accept The other group says we must reject. So that is where we are. We don't know if this government will be in office in next year in 2024, because there'll be an election in the UK. So anyway, I don't want to talk too much. I think, in short, we've got an offer, and we are going to vote on it. So that is the news from the UK. In addition to that, when they announced the offer for teachers, they announced it for the police. Again, I don't know if some of you know, the police in their contract are not allowed to strike. But for the first time, the police have come out and said that they've been deceived, they've been lied to. So they are also considering whether to have the law changed so they can go on strike action anyway. So the police, the doctors, some public sector workers, like those who work in the passport office, the Department of Pensions, Work and Pensions, and so on. Already, as I speak to, they have rejected. They're not the police, but the BMA. BMA is the British Medical Association. These are the trade union for doctors and doctors. They have already come out to say they've rejected the offer. Unite, which represents passport workers and some public sector staff, those who work in the ministries, central government, they have come out to say they reject it. So we teachers are now going to make a decision. We're going to debate the offer. So in short, it's not looking good. It looks like we are in for the long ride. Oh, by the way, the RMT, which is the union members who drive the trains, they are still on strike. Their offer has still not been settled. So, for example, next Thursday, I will not go to work because there are no trains and I don't have a private car and I'm not driving the distance to school. So only teachers with private cars can go to school. Those of us who come by train, depending on where you live, you can't go to work. So my employer has already accepted that I can't come to work, so I'll work from home on Thursday next week. Anyway,
so you
need to talk to 10 minutes, but if I want to say everything, it will take longer than that. So let me just end there. Thank you.
You need to talk to Brother Glenroy, so that the RMT can call off their strike so that you can go to school using the train. I hope Glenroy is the secretary.
Actually, we support their strike, so that's the irony. We back. Okay. In fact, when we have meetings, they come and speak to us because they started it all. They started the strike action, you see, and they inspired the union movement, you see. So anyway, it's a long story. Let me stop there.
Okay, Sister Marlene, just any quick update, or even if you to say hi, then we just move to the book.
Oh, we can move to the book. There was something I was going to say last week. I should have written it down, and now I don't recall what it is, and I'm not even home at the moment. So let's go to the book. In fact, what were we talking about last week? We were talking about, remind me again, what was it we were saying? What was something or another?
Sister Marlene, were you on Saturday or Thursday?
I only come on a Thursday. Saturday, I'm busy.
No, what you are saying on Saturday is
Thursday.
She meant Thursday,
on Thursday. It was in the screen here, the philosophy as abstract systems. That's what we were discussing last Thursday class, which is in the screen shared here.
Oh yeah, it was abstract, and I was thinking abstract is when things are
not abstract.
Sorry, abstract is when things are not clear, when it's all bits and pieces. So I think it was along that line I was going to say, but never mind. I should have wrote it down. Never mind. Let's carry on. Yeah.
We accept. It, Marlene. We do understand. Anyway, next time try to write it down so that you can remember.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We need to go to the book unless Brother Coco or Mafafa asks anything related to the book, because actually we are over 1 hour late to our reading. Brother Coco.
What I have is very important, and it's not related to the book. It's just to add to what Brother Kwame has been saying. So I work for the civil service here in the UK, and we have been offered 6%. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, nobody cares about civil servants anyway. They don't think we do much. And if our other colleagues get what they need, because the standard of living, the cost of living has escalated here in the UK. It's really hard. Let me just say that. But to fund this increases which they are offering, they are going to look at the visas. It means they're going to increase the cost of visas, because I think the elasticity of demand is low there. We just know that we can increase the cost of visas anytime, people will still come. So those are some of the good means that they're going to adopt to raise the funds to fund all of these increases that they are offering. That's number one. Number two, there is a company here which is interesting. They were a philanthropist, it's a charitable organization. They are folding because they think what they are doing is actually entangling themselves further in colonialism, in colonial capitalism. So, which is interesting, because if you think about that model, they are investing in lots of companies which are involved in globalization or global capitalism and exploitation. And as a result, they realize that what we are doing is nothing. We are not really even addressing the root problem here. We are actually creating that even further, because you cannot go ahead and invest in companies that exploit people, and then you take the proceeds from those and then invest in people. So that's an interesting perspective. From Lesotho and South Africa, there are Basotho miners who are still missing in the mines in Virginia. That has not happened. We don't know what's going to happen. And as I reported last time, that nearly caused a bit of tension between Lesotho and South Africa. But hopefully, they should be able to work through that. On one thing, which was on a Pan-African level, there is an ACUP, African Continental Union Party. I don't know how many of you know it here. I went into a WhatsApp group with that, and I met a man called Kwame Stevens. When I told him about conscientium study, he said, I was there, I know that. I left because there was someone I didn't get along with. So from my feeling, having met that guy, he was condescending the way he spoke. But I would like to know more information from one of you guys who might have met him. But it means there are a lot of stuff happening, as you know, Brother Bigden, from what the study we have been doing. ACUP is one of those continent-wide groups which is happening now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll give the update later. Kwame Stephen was a member of the group. We invited him, personally invited him to join the Consciousism group. I brought him here. We did a presentation to their class as a Consciousism group. They listened to ideology. We asked them to do a presentation. I think we asked them to do a presentation, or they were to do a presentation. Then they never did that. Then I think when we asked them of ideology, because we wanted to show them.
Hold on, Comrade Pigeon, they did do the presentation. Yeah, they
did the presentation.
Yeah, they did theirs first before we did ours.
So we shared our presentations.
Yes.
Then we were to move together in terms of ideologies and philosophy. I think that's where issues started coming up. And I don't know what lastly.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, sorry. Let me come in there.
Yes.
So Brother Coco, thanks for the question. So basically, as you know, we are a philosophical and ideological group here. And the ACUP is a political party. Michael is here, so he is the one that arranged for the presentation. So Michael can correct me if I'm wrong. And so there was presentation from us and then from them to us. So we agreed in principle that because we are an ideological group, we will work with them on the basis of ideology. And they are the political party and they are Pan-Africanists. So we will see them as if you like, the party wing of our ideological grouping. because they are Pan-Africanists and CSG is Pan-Africanists. We work together. So that is how it was. When he sends messages to the CSG group, he sends voice messages. He doesn't send text. He said he doesn't do text. He sends voice message. His voice messages can be as big as videos. In other words, we are talking about 34 megabyte, 50 megabyte, very huge. And so I had no problem with it in principle. But we have a rule that if you send a video, you must tell us what is in the video. And so since he was sending us messages that were that big, some felt that he must give us a summary of what the voice message contains, so that if anybody is listening, then they know what he's talking about. And Sister Ida is not here, but she will tell you that with one voice message, she had to listen for about 15 minutes to get to what Brother Stevens was actually talking about. So the advice went out that he should reduce his voice message, or he should give us a short comment on what the voice message contains. And he got upset and left. That's it. He got upset and left. So if he said he didn't get along with someone, I don't know who, because as far as I know, there was no disagreement between him and any particular individual. The problem was with his huge voice messages and the fact that we wanted him to reduce them. But can I also explain to you the reason that the time is now almost 20 past 8. We haven't got to the book yet, but anyway, since you've asked a question, the reason that this group came to the conclusion that that videos must be short and should not be more than 50 minutes long, something like that, if you look at our rules, is because some of our members here live in countries where it is very expensive to watch videos. If you're going to watch a video that is 25 megabyte big, you have to pay for it. You see, we in the UK, we have free internet. You see, on the whole, when I go to school, my internet is free. When I'm on the train, I have free internet. When I go to Starbucks, I have free internet. When I go to many places, I have free internet. But when I'm at home, I pay. But most times it's free. So some of the people in the UK don't understand, in the US don't understand that our brothers and sisters on the continent, in Uganda, where I stayed for a while, internet is very, very expensive. And if I was a Ugandan, I cannot afford to pay. I mean, watching 25 megabyte videos or 50 megabyte videos and so on, which I don't even know what's inside. So our decision to restrict videos and to ask people to even give commentaries on videos is based on the fact that we need to remember that not all of us have free internet, not all of us have the money to pay to watch videos upon videos upon videos, and some of them you don't even know what the video contains, you see. So anyway, the purpose of the commentary for videos, which we still have in this group anyway, is that when you send a video, you must tell us what is inside it. That is our rule. And one of the reasons is because of costs. So when a brother in Kenya or Uganda or Ghana wants to watch a video, he knows what is inside. He or she can decide whether to watch it or not. You see, and if they have to pay, they go and buy the internet and they watch. But at least they know what is inside the video. But this forwarding of videos, I'm on an internet group. In one day, people send about 20 videos. I mean, come on, who has time to watch 20 videos? Unless it's a video watching group. I mean, for me, it's nonsense. So anyway, that's one. The other reason is that some of us work in sensitive professions. So for instance, me as a teacher, if I watch a video and that video has certain things in it, I have to report it to the police immediately. You understand? I have to report it. You see, so I am careful. That's why I don't watch videos. Even if I'm in a group and I don't open a video, I am protected. But as soon as I open a video and I see what is inside and it is illegal, then I have to report it. I am required by law to report it. You see, so that is another reason. And people sometimes don't understand. They don't understand these things. They think everybody is in the same position as them. It is like someone from a very rich family eats chicken every day, eats rice and jollof rice with this and that every day, and then thinks that everybody is the same in their house, and they have no understanding that different people are in different circumstances. That even if you are rich, it doesn't mean everybody is rich. Because you live in a mansion, doesn't mean everybody lives in a mansion. And sometimes our brothers and sisters who claim to be Pan-Africanists forget that they have to be mindful that we have a variety of experiences. Anyway, I could go on and on to explain, but let me stop there. So
thank you,
Brother
Kwame.
Brother Coco, there is no problem with anybody. And by the way, just to finish, in CSG, we still regard ACUP as the party we are working with, even though they are not here. Thank you.
Thank you, brother Kwame, for that. We need to go to our book. Just a reminder that CSG is not an organization, it's not a political party, it's not a movement, it's not anything else. It's a philosophy study class. Therefore, we cannot have enmity with anybody. And in fact, our mission, like this day, today, I was working in compiling all list of registered Pan-African political parties. SUP has not even been registered. It's still struggling for registration in Ghana.
It has
but
in
I'm
Ghana.
compiling the list of all.
It has in Ghana, yeah.
It hasn't been given a certificate.
In Ghana, they said they have. They've received it.
No, they haven't. That's the update, but that's not a big issue.
Okay.
The issue is that we are compiling list of all Pan-African movement across and Pan-African political parties across the continent for the sole purpose that we are willing to work with them in terms of philosophy and ideology. Therefore, we cannot differ or disagree with anybody who is a Pan-African. So that should be just to let you know. So we are not in enmity, we are not in competition. Us as a class, we are looking for people we can work together with in order for our people in Africa to get this philosophy and ideology for the purpose of leadership, liberation, and unification of the continent. Brother Mafafa, you'll read for us the first paragraph, which is from the second paragraph. As you say what you want to say, I'll allow you to say and then read for us the second paragraph of our class, starting from the answer to the first question. Then I'll hand over the leadership and the chairship of the class back to Brother Kwame. So Brother Mafafa, update us, then read for us the second paragraph.
Thanks, Brother Pichim. Yes, my submission to the report that was reported by our leader, Comrade Kwame, is based on the. I'm glad to hear that he is part of he's a president of a branch on the teachers union in UK. I will request maybe a further clarity to say how on the international relations of the teachers union in UK can try to assist the Swaziland National Union of Teachers, the Swaziland National Association of Teachers in Swaziland. Recently, the president of the teachers union in Swaziland was in exile. He was wanted dead by the state, and he came back in the country, and he have been assisted by SATU, which is a teachers union in South Africa. He is under some heavy security supervision because the state want him dead. I think also we can be glad if he can link with our comrade Gwame to address such situation that most of the teachers are under attack from the government. I think that was critical to raise. Thank you. The answer to the first question is a number of aspects. It lays down a minimum number of general ideas under which every item in the world can and must be brought. It does this without naming the items themselves, without finishing us with an inventory, a roll call of the items, the objects in the world. It specifies not particular objects, but the basic types of objects. The answer further implies a certain reductionism for in naming only a few basic types as exhausting all objects in the world. It brings every object directly under one of the basic types. Thank you.
Brother Kwame? You're the chair. Will it be in order for us to read the second paragraph where Nkrumah is trying to explain the paragraph above, and then we can do the discussion? Hello, Brother
Well, you
Kwame.
might as well
Yeah,
continue
sorry.
with the reading.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Thanks,
asking
Brother
Brother
Michael,
Kwame.
for your intervention. So, yeah, thank you for reading that paragraph. That paragraph is just as loaded as the previous one, philosophically. But let me respond to Brother Mafafa's question very briefly, and then I'll move on to the book. So, yes, the answer is yes, Brother Mafafa. I am the president of District of the Teachers Union. And yes, I met Comrade Maguena Maluleke, who is the General Secretary of SATU, South Africa. And I also met Collins Oyo from Kenya, who is also General Secretary of the Teachers Union in Kenya. They were both in the UK recently. They came for our annual conference. I met them. It's the first time I had met them, and I make links with them. I am in principle on invitations to South Africa in November this year. The Union SATU will be inviting me, and that's because of the Education International, which is the trade union for all trade, the global trade union for all teacher trade unions, for Education International. So I am on paper to attend there. So there is a trade union of Africa. So they are meeting of all teachers, that is, in South Africa in November. So I'm slated to attend. It's still ongoing. So the answer to your question is yes. I will initiate discussion so that we link up with you in Swaziland. My district has supposed to have an international officer, and who is then supposed to work with people like yourselves. But as I said, I will initiate that at the highest level as far as I can. We have a meeting in October, I believe, this year, which is an international meeting where all the international officers will meet in London, and I will put your case across. So in short, yes, I'll see what I can do so that we link up with you and give you support. Okay, Brother Mafafa. Thank you. Now to the book. So brother. Yes.
I was requesting
that
the paragraph Brother Mafafa's read.
Yes.
Nkrumah is trying to give an illustration in the following paragraph. So we need to be in order to attach that paragraph and the following paragraph so that we can have a discussion on the two paragraphs first.
No, we can't, because we haven't even got to the bottom of what an abstract system. What is an abstract system? We didn't get to the bottom of it. There was a discussion.
Yeah, I remember.
There was a discussion last week. We never got to
guidance.
the bottom of it. People gave their views, and then you wrote something. So Shireen thumbs up what you wrote. So in light of what you wrote, I felt that I needed to send you, all of us, a write-up on what the difference is, which I sent. I don't know if anybody has read it, but it's important that we understand the difference between a concrete system and an abstract system. And then once we understand that, we can then move to the next question.
Where
Because
is this written material? Where are we to find it?
I sent it to
You
the
said you
WhatsApp group. Michael, I sent it to all of us on the WhatsApp group.
Thank you.
Yeah, I sent to all of us. So, Brother Pete, now I'm going to reclaim the host. So I want to share a video. I want to share a presentation, and then once I pass on to you, I'll give you back the host. Yeah. All right, Pigeon. So I'm going to reclaim the host now, so I can share. And the page. Once I'm done. You will then be able to get the host so that you can share that page again. So I want to, in order to let everyone understand the difference between a concrete and an abstract system, I thought I should share this. So I'm not trying to get my presentation, which is a PowerPoint presentation. I'm trying to see where I can, because it's not letting me. Okay, I'm going to do it via the. So give me a moment, please. Pigeon, you can talk whilst I'm sorting this out.
That's very quite interesting. Anyway, yes, I'll need to talk anyway. I know what Brother Mafafa was asking, and I want to thank you for accepting actually to try to link the teachers union in Swaziland so that they can get some support. Actually, that's the solidarity we need. When one of the teachers are actually under attack, we really need to call for the international solidarity. And this is what has been lacking. When the politicians are in detainee or are in exile, there's no political sound voice that come together for solidarity. And this is why most of our leaders were assassinated. Nobody talked, everybody was silent. Like in Swaziland now, they are in exile, nobody's speaking. I think there's also need for I don't know if it is there, but there's also need of a strong African political union wing that can defend politicians as well. Because people don't believe that politicians also need to have a union. I believe it is time now the politicians should consider having a union. Because some of them are now, of course, persecuted and they need some defense. So I really think that as the teachers are having their union, the politicians need to have also their union so that when the government arrests them or they are kept in detention or in exile, they can be supported. We also have another teacher in our class from South Africa. Dr. Hammond is a lecturer in South African University. He's from Eritrea. He's a teacher also in this class. So I think it would be interesting when you are going to South Africa, you can also link to Dr. Hammond, who is a member of the class. He's a lecturer in South Africa. I think your video is ready, Brother Kwame.
Yes. Can you see it?
Yes,
okay,
I can see it.
Okay, so let's watch a short video, and I'll tell you what that video is. Can you see? Let's see. So this is a picture. Hold on. Okay, the video I wanted to play. Okay, so tell me if you can't see this video.
Banish gray hair in under 5 minutes. The secret to looking 10 years younger. What if you could cover your gray hair with an alt?
Can you watch it? Can you see?
South African fruit exporters,
yes.
citrus farms, and packhouses are spread out across
we won't watch all of it.
I just want to show some quality varieties of top quality, blemish-free fruit to our export markets throughout the year. From our headquarters in Cape Town, we export oranges, lemons, soft citrus, and grapefruit to Europe, Russia, the Middle and Far East, USA, and Canada.
Okay. Right. So So you've all watched that video, yeah? Now, the video is showing you what you call concrete reality. So that is concrete reality. Okay. Now, the video you are seeing on the screen now is showing you what we call an iconic reality, which is basically a picture. Now, the next slide is showing you information about what we have just watched, but it's using figures. So if you read what is on the screen, it's saying, for instance, that SAFE packed and exported 1.55 million cartons of citrus between February and September. So this is giving you numbers. So this is what we call abstract reality, because the numbers are just numbers. Although they are talking about concrete reality, you can see they are far removed from the details in concrete reality. Here is another example. End of the video. Okay. So here is another example. So this is water.
Who doesn't love watching their favorite YouTuber in action?
Sorry. Sorry about that. Let me do it again and see whether it will work this time. Okay. This is not working. Okay. All right, the water one is not working, but I would have shown you a video about water, and then what you will see is this is a picture of, this is the Iwaso River in Kenya. What's the full name? Iwaso in Ngiri, it's called, yeah?
It's called Ewasonyiro.
Ewasonyiro. So this is a river in Kenya. This is, so this video that's not showing, I don't know why it's not showing. You would have seen the water, and that's concrete reality. Then this is what we call an iconic reality, because it's a picture. And this is about the same, this is another example. It's also what we call iconic reality. And then here is also another iconic reality. In other words, it's a picture. They all represent the concrete reality, but actually they're not. Now this one here is abstract reality. The Ewasonyiro Basin is saying covers an area of 226 kilometers squared, 36.3% of Kenya drainage area, and bears 5.8% of Kenya water, potential with an annual yield of 1,469 million cubic meters. Now, this is what we call abstract reality. It's figures about concrete reality, but it's removed from the day-to-day detail of actual life. And then another example, which again, if the video would play, is to do with food. Again, I don't know if it will play. We've seen the video on food, and that's a concrete reality, and that was the abstract. Now, the same company that we saw, what you are seeing on my screen is actually also
I see you running on all of this universe and this South Africans, they always hope that they inspire people so that he does good.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to mute Brother Castro. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry about that. Let me go back to the video. So what you see on the screen is
There's
what we call,
nothing, comrade.
you can't see
There's nothing
anything.
you are seeing in the screen. Yes.
Really?
We are seeing
Okay.
search, manage your watch history, search your watch history. So unless you tap on another browser.
Okay. All right. I'll leave it for now then, and maybe we did next time. It did work when I was trying it. Now I'm trying to try it. It's not working. So we'll leave it. Let me see if, let me try something else. The time is really running out. Let's see. Local storage. Pasofu. Concrete knobs of reality. Okay. Let me open this with okay. All right, okay. All right, comrades, I'm going to leave it and try it another time because it's not working. But the main thing I wanted to explain is to show you the difference between concrete reality and abstract reality so that we see the clear difference. That concrete reality is about everyday life, normal life, whether it's to do with water, whether it's to do with sanitation, whether it's to do with food, whether it's to do with a sense of belonging, whether it's to do with self-realization, whatever it is, there is a concrete part which is to do with people's normal everyday life, and that's concrete reality. And then from that, we have iconic reality, which is a picture of the same thing. And then at the top, we have abstract reality, which is about figures and equations and things like that. So it's important we understand the difference because the paragraph we are dealing with, the one we talked about before, was philosophy seen as a series of abstract systems. Now, for those of us here who have read the whole book previously, we will recall that when we got to chapter 5, all we saw was a series of equations. That is what we mean by an abstract system. All of you have the book. I'm sure everybody now has the book. Go to chapter 5, and then you will see how, first of all, you are given set theoretic terms. In other words, you are given terminology and what they mean. And then Nkrumah systematically goes through explaining what colonialism is and what neocolonialism will be or is, and what we need to do, positive action, negative action, and so on. Methodically goes through and presents it all using mathematical symbols. That is what we call abstract reality. In other words, it is abstracted. In other words, when you present it, you remove all other things that are not important to what you want to say, and you focus only on what you want to talk about. So that is what we call abstraction. So coming back to the paragraph on philosophy regarded in the light of a series of abstract systems, which is the paragraph before, what Nkrumah is telling us is that you can see philosophy in that light. You can see philosophy as a series of abstract systems. However, it is not the only way you can see philosophy, but that is one way. And when you see philosophy as a series of abstract systems in that sense, then you can call it a horizontal view of life, if you like, or a horizontal view of the universe. Horizontal in the sense that it's a line that goes as far back into the past as you like, and then goes forward as far into the future as you like. And if you see it as a line, it starts from whenever it started in the past, and then passes through the present, and then goes into the future. You can see philosophy in that sense. Another way to see philosophy is as a vertical system. And by vertical system, we mean that you look at your current concrete situation, and out of that concrete situation, you then understand what it is you are into,
what your material conditions are, what is it that your experiences are. So for instance, if you take water, the fact that you have to walk to the stream to fetch water from the ground, that is your material experience. But that material experience is coming from the fact that you don't have pipe-borne water at home. So girls have to walk to the stream. Not the men, not the boy, but the girls have to walk to the stream and get that water. Sometimes they have to scoop it from holes and so on. So that is their experience. Then we have the third part, which is their state of consciousness, with their state of mind. So you can see philosophy in that sense, that it is derived from your current situation. And we call that the social milieu. So that is, if you like, a vertical way of looking at philosophy. Vertical in the sense that if you see it as a line, it's basically a line from, if you like, up to down. In other words, it's dealing with your current situation, your material conditions, your experiences, and your state of consciousness. So those are the two broad ways you can look at philosophy, if you like. So in this paragraph, Nkrumah is suggesting that, yes, philosophy has been seen in that light as if you like, a horizontal line. And so there are two questions. The first question is, so our universe, what is it made of? What is it made of? That's the first question. What is it made of? And then two, if we know what it is made of, can we explain everything in the universe? Can we explain everything with respect to what it is made of? So this question has had two answers, and we'll deal with that. The first answer is those who say that the universe is made of spirits or ideas, spirits and the ideas in man's head. That is what the universe is made of, just spirits. And the idealists say that spirit explains everything. If you mention anything, you can explain with spirit. So this spirit created man, spirit created the universe, spirit created light, spirit created man, spirit created the vehicle, spirit created machines, spirit created whatever you mention, even the stone, spirit created it.
Can you define spirit, please?
So
Can you define spirit?
But that is a point, Michael. If you ask what is spirit, they don't really tell us. They have not really tell us what is spirit. But ultimately, what they mean by spirit is God. That's really, at the end of the day, that's what they are really getting at. That there is something, there is something called spirit, and this spirit is divine, is eternal. There's a classic passage in the Bible, which those of you who have read the Bible will know, where Jesus is said to have said, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. It's a passage that is loved by Pentecostals and people who go to this school. They love that passage. God is a spirit, and so who is God, or what is God? Well, he's a spirit, or she's a spirit. Sometimes they say God is a man. So he's a spirit. But then if you go to Africa, for instance, if you ask Africans, well, what is God? It depends on who you ask, because the Grand people, Sister Aida's group, they will say that God is male and female. They call it Ata na Nyomo. I can't say Kwame Asasia. So the answers are different. So there are those on the continent who believe that God, in fact, the Kikuyus, I also understand, also have a legend that everything came from one man, one woman, and so on. And they have a name for it, as a brother Pigeon will know. But ultimately, the idea is that there's something called spirit, and they don't really tell us what this spirit is. And then when you ask the question, well, so how did spirit create a car? If everything is spiritual, so we are saying a car is a spirit. So tell us, can you explain to us how the spirit created a car? Or how did the spirit, so if everything is spirit, how is water a spirit? So idealists have no scientific explanation for anything. It's just a faith. It's just a belief. It's just a belief. We believe. but there's no real scientific explanation. That's the first answer to the question, what is the universe made of? I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not saying I believe one or the other. I'll tell you what it is, and then we can decide. The other explanation is that the universe is made up of matter. And by matter, they mean what science says is matter. You know, we are talking about fundamental particles. Before, when we went to school, they told us that the atom is the smallest unit. It can neither be created or destroyed. That is what we were taught when we were in school. By the time we got to this age, we have now heard that actually atom is not the smallest unit, and that the atom can be created and can be destroyed. And its destruction is what we call the atomic bomb, and so on. So science has moved on from that position, but the fundamental point is that the universe is made of matter. And this matter, for us human beings, is carbon. If you like, we are carbon. We are made from carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. These are the fundamental units. And that is the position of what we call the materialists. So the materialists take the position that the universe is made from matter, and that the universe is a natural universe, and that it is subject to laws, and these laws are scientific laws. So reductionism, for instance, what Brother Mafafa read, has been mentioned. We'll come to that later. So these are the two big, if you like, abstract systems that we have in the world today. The abstract system that everything is spirit, and spirit can be used to explain everything. Everything is made from spirit. You yourself are spiritual beings. You may think you are, you might think. So PG may think that he's flesh and blood, but actually you are actually a spirit. Shireen, you are a spirit. Michael, you are a spirit. Remember, you are all spirits. You are spirit beings. So that's and the universe is spirit. The earth is a spirit. And all that. That is the first question, the first answer. The second is actually that is all nonsense, and that you are actually material being. You are made from matter, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon. The fundamental particles of life are all matter, and matter does not mean that you should be able to touch it. There are matter we can't see, like the air, we can't see, but it is matter. Oxygen cannot be seen, but oxygen can be liquefied. And then there are 4 states of matter. There is solid, there is liquid, there is gas, and there is plasma. Plasma is what the sun is, very hot, high temperatures, no living things can be there, and it radiates sunlight. So those who say it is matter, the scientists, if you like, would say that actually this matter has 4 states. So that is it, and this is what we are reading in the paragraph that Brother Mafafa read. Now, all of us here were brought up on idealism. There's a saying in Ghana that you don't teach a child God. It's a saying that says you don't teach a child God. As long as the child is growing, the child knows God. That's a saying in Ghana where I come from. That's the saying. I'm sure you have the same saying in your various languages, whether in Nigeria, whether in Kenya, whether in the UK, whether in Lesotho, South Africa, wherever. So that is it. Now, the point I want to make clear is this: we don't care what you believe. That's not the issue here. The issue is not what you personally believe. Believe whatever you like. Okay? If you think a glass, I'm holding a glass now. I don't know if you can see it. You know, I'm holding a glass. I don't know if you can see it. There. If you think this glass is spirit, that's your business. But what we are saying in this philosophy class is this. We are saying that if you want to lay pipes to people's homes, so they have modern treated drinking water, so that our girls do not walk miles and miles to fetch water, we are saying that stop believing that a spirit will get that water into people's homes. That's what we are saying. You can believe privately what you like, But do not go and tell girls that they should believe in some spirit, that they should go to see the spirit will get the water from the stream and bring it to their house. And then suddenly they'll have water in the house for them to bath. And then daddy will have water, mom will have water, mom will have water to cook, everybody will have water. Because no spirit will do that. So what we are saying is that believe what you like. But when we come to the transformation of Africa, we have to take a certain position as ideological and philosophical leaders. We need to set aside sometimes our personal beliefs and take on a position that solves the problem of our people. That is our position in this class. Otherwise, believe what you like. And that is why in conscientism, we welcome Muslims, Christians, traditionalists, believe what you like. But don't tell the people go and pray for rain when we can use modern science to bring water from the stream to water the fields and grow crops. Don't tell people to go and pray for rain. That's the kind of nonsense we are saying that as conscientists we should move away from. What we should be doing is saying that what is the scientific knowledge we need in order to tap water from the river that is not far from here, bring that water to this, whether it's a rice field, whether it's a tomato field, whatever it is, so that we can water the field. That is what we are saying. Otherwise, comrades, you can believe whatever you like. You go to church, if that makes you feel okay, go to church. If go to the mosque makes you feel better, please go and pray as much as you like, but don't go and tell people to go and pray. The time is almost 9, and I want to pause there in terms of the answer to the 2 questions, which we've read. We would normally have asked everyone to give their view on that paragraph, and then we'll move on. Unfortunately, because of the current affairs, and I don't know what else caused it, we spent a lot of time on these things. I would want us to move to a situation where we spend less time on current affairs. The reason is that the reason we have current affairs is because we want to relate what is happening on the continent to the reality of African life. So when we discuss current affairs, what we are saying is that this is what is happening on the continent. This is what our philosophy says. Now let's relate what is happening on the ground to our philosophy. That is the point of the current affairs. It's not about just sharing news stories that makes us feel okay or feel better. That is not the point. So we might have to move to a situation where we only pick one story and just deal with it, relate to the philosophy, and then maybe on Saturdays we deal with current affairs proper. Because of course Saturdays is when we deal with the issue of unification of the continent. Maybe there we can hear more current affairs, so that on Thursday we hear less current affairs and focus more on the book.
Yes, comrade. I don't know if you. Hello, comrade. You can hear me? Can you hear me, comrade?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
Yes, I want to thank Brother Kwame for actually spending some time to explain that part of abstract systems and concrete systems. And as you suggested, indeed, we moving forward, we created the Saturday class for updates and relating to the unity. So moving forward, today we started the class around 15 minutes late because people did not come in right on time. But I think moving forward, we'll try to reduce the timings because this should be a reading class. And this book is a big book that we need proper discussions and reading. So we will actually limit the class updates across the continent on Thursdays and allow it to take place on Saturdays when we discuss the unity of Africa, then so that we can have at least 1.5 hours for reading and discussion, or 1 and 45 hours for reading, 45 minutes for reading and discussion. Then we'll take around 15 minutes for any urgent update, any update that might appear to be so urgent. So I think because of time, we will still have to proceed from where we left it in the next class, which is next Thursday. But I'll also request members who have not received this book that you have a soft copy and an audio copy of this book, so that I can be, Brother Michael will be able to share it in our group again. And to those members who have not joined our group, because I'm seeing some few members who are new in this group, I'll request you to join our WhatsApp group where you can get more updates. So we will then have to end the class from at this particular moment, then maybe look forward to the next Thursday class. But on Saturday, we'll be discussing the unity of Africa, same time, 1900 GMT. Unless there's any other issue, Brother Kwame, you can guide.
That is it. No, thank you all for coming. Have a nice evening. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Before you go,
good night, everybody.
Formal close. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, Sister Shireen.
Yes, Baba.
Yes.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night, Sister Shireen. Good night.
Okay. Take care.
Was somebody ask me a question?
Yes, please. Can you put in the chat what is it in your language?
Sorry?
You don't teach a child.
Brother,
You don't teach a child about
you were
God.
saying? Sorry?
Can you put in the chat what you said about you don't teach a child about God in your language?
Oh, it's a saying. It's a Ghanaian saying, and I can't say it. It means literally you don't teach a child God.
All right.
It's just a saying. Sorry?
Can you put that in the WhatsApp chat?
Well, I'll put it in English because I don't can't. So unless I find out how to write it in the can, I can post it in English. Yeah.
Okay.
In that case, I have to speak to my account friends. I'll speak to my account friends. Let me have it in the can, and then I'll share. It's done. Good night, everyone.
Big Bin. Is he gone? That's all right.
Yes, yes, he's gone. Sorry.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.